We are back at the chicken houses. We've had a lot of videos lately dealing with our cows, selling some calves, been in the hay field, but we still have the chicken houses. We don't have chickens right now though. We sold them maybe a week and a half ago, coming up on 2 weeks now. So no chickens here. We've been doing some of the prep, getting ready for next fall. Right now, we're averaging about 3 weeks downtime, which is nice. It gives us some extra time to do some other stuff. This time I had a guy come in, or Eric and I both had a guy come in, and he rolled our litter, came back, rolled it over again, came back, leveled it out. And so this is what it looks like. After he finished up, I did come through and smooth it down a little bit more with a railroad iron, but didn't have to do much to it. Eric has decided to go through his with the cruster one time, so he's going to go over everything, get some more of these chunks out. I just decided to not do that this time, give it a try. I may have some more ammonia, may create some problems starting out, but going to give it a try. It's going to be warm this coming flock, be able to run a lot of fans, a lot of air on them. We're also going to do full house brood, so we'll be putting the chickens front to back. So we're going to be getting started on the chicken house work soon. But one thing, I've seen some pictures of it, I've never seen a video of it, but on the end of our chicken houses we have cool cells. Mine have been there 10 years and I've never cleaned them or done anything to them, but I've seen pictures of people that will go and pour soap in their tank where their pump is, and then the soap will run through the system and clean it out. So I'm gonna give it a try and see if we can't get these cleaned out. I'm gonna run into town real quick and go to Dollar General. That's about our closest option. And I'm gonna get some soap and we'll start trying to figure out how to clean these cool cells off. So this is what I mean when I say go to town. We've got the Country Boys gas station slash restaurant, Dollar General, a couple churches, some medical something, a couple other little stores, but there's not much here. No red lights. We do have the Dollar General. So if you're somewhat new to the chicken business or not real familiar with what we do, on the end of all of our houses we have what we call cool cells. So these pads are about, I think, 6 inches thick. There's a trough at the bottom, and on the other side there's a curtain that, as it gets hotter and hotter through the day, as the chickens get older, that curtain raises up, and so there's lots of airflow moving through these cool cells here and going across the chickens. As it gets even hotter and hotter, we have this here that pumps water up here, and it makes these cool pads wet. So it starts to kind of cool the air that we're pulling across the chickens. So that's essentially how the chickens stay cool in the hottest part of the summer as they get older. We've done a full video on those, I believe, but that's just the quick version. Right now I've got my curtains raising up. So you can see, there's my curtain going up. Like I said, I've had these cool pads for 10 years, other than flushing the water out every fall when I'm done with it so nothing freezes in the wintertime. I've never done anything to clean them. I'm gonna climb in here and just take a look. I know they're nasty. I thought about going through before and spraying them. These pads can be a little bit delicate, so you have to be careful how you clean them. Also, it would take a really long time. So let's climb in right here. As you can see, they're pretty dirty. Over 10 years, it's gonna be a lot of dust accumulating in there. It's It's probably restricting some airflow. So we'll get these curtains raised all the way up and I'll be pouring in the soap. I'm gonna turn my Cool Cell water on. So when I'm not using my Cool Cells, I leave that ball valve turned off because there's a lot of pressure on it. And the last thing I want is to have some water lines blow out in the middle of the night. I did forget to go in the house though and actually turn on the Cool Cells. So there's 2 toggle switches on the controller that control each side of my Cool Cells, as well as a breaker. I'm gonna turn those just straight to on. Let's go put some soap in the tank. I've just got 1 fan running in my houses. I'd had them closed up, but I keep a fan running just to keep some fresh air in there. I would imagine that if you're trying this, if you have chicken houses, you want to do it when you don't have chickens, and you probably don't want to have a bunch of fans on running. It's just my guess, but this will be kind of a trial and error thing. So right now, I've got my pump unplugged, but you can hear water going in the tank. Turn it off for the time being. So my water down in my tank actually looks fairly clean. We used these a little bit towards the end of last flock, not a lot. Been sitting for probably 2 weeks now. But I've got my soap in there. I've seen different people say different amounts you're supposed to put in. Anywhere from like a cup of soap up to one of the quart bottles. This is a 15.5 fluid ounce bottle. I was gonna go with just the 8 ounces, but since I've never cleaned them before, I want to get them cleaned really well. And this may be something that I end up needing to do twice this year to kind of get caught back up, but we're gonna figure it out. The way these Cool Cells work is you have a pump down here. This is my float to let more water in and out. It's going to maintain that water level. There's water in here that's probably about right here. So whatever water comes down these pads comes back in here and in this pump or in this tank that goes into the ground. But when it turns on, the water comes up and there's little holes all along through there, and it squirts water right into here, and then that water will trickle down. But I'm gonna turn it on and I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. See, these pads are a little brittle. Those spots right there are from some hail damage a couple years ago. It doesn't take long for that soap. So the soap was added in about 5 minutes till 10. So I'm gonna try to keep a little time reference of how long I run it. That stuff is foaming up a lot. The lady at Dollar General asked me where I was going to wash dishes today because I bought 8 of those bottles of soap. I said, I'm not washing dishes, I've got chicken houses. And she said, oh, that explains it. Come inside and see if you can see anything. Here's what we got. Hopefully y'all can see. These things are bad dirty, lots of cobwebs. But not much water is touching the inside. So I'm interested to see if it's going to do anything to all that on the inside, or if it's just going to be more cleaning the outside. Let's go back out and take a look. These troughs have an end cap on them, and I'm not sure if eventually I'm gonna have to take it off to let some of the soap run out, or if you just keep flushing and keep flushing until finally the water's clear. I'd really like to be able to see what the water looked like down in this trough. Pretty soapy. We've been running for about 15 minutes now, and I'm gonna try. I turned my incoming water off. I'm gonna let it pump some of that water down, and then kind of go from there and see what I need to do next. So I've had the water turned off for about 5 minutes now, and with that water recirculating, it's really not using any. So when I try this on another house, I'll probably not have the water turned on at all for the first little while, and then if I feel like I need to start adding some water to it, I can go back. I'm gonna come back and look inside again, see what we're looking like. So those pads from the inside are getting a lot wetter, which is good because I want them clean throughout. I'm gonna change what I said I was doing, and I'm gonna actually go turn a couple more fans on and see if maybe the fans will help pull some of that through. And maybe that's something I should have already done, but this is a trial and error. I've never seen a video of anybody do this before, so hopefully this video helps some people out. Well, one thing's for certain, I've got all my fans on now, and you stand right here, it's like you're standing in front of the air conditioner. Feels nice and cool. Coming to check to see if Eric's doing anything. Like I said earlier, he decided to do a lap with the Cruster or decaker, whatever you want to call it. So he's going through and just doing one run all the way across, so it's 1, 2, 3, it's about 4 laps in each house. I would say he's probably getting out 3 to 4 Cruster loads and dumping it in the barn. In the winter time, we will do that 2 times, but this time of year, you don't have to spend as much time decaking the litter, or at least we don't. He's down there at the other end of the house. I'm about 45 minutes into washing the cool cells off. So after we check this out, we'll go back down and see what we're looking like. I'm gonna say of all the jobs and different things that we do on the farm, both chickens and cows, that right there is probably my least favorite of all. It's painfully boring. Normally pretty hot. It's pretty dusty. There's just nothing fun about it. There's a 50-50 chance you're going to end up with a sinus infection after that, which through the years we've upgraded our mask. We've moved on to like a full mask, or a lot of times if we're not having to do a lot, we'll just crust towards the front door, so all the dust is being pulled to the back where the fans are. But you know, a lot of that stuff just takes more time too. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox and go back and check on my soap. So we're almost an hour in, not quite. We're still pretty soapy. I'm trying to see how much water I've got in my tank. Sounds like I may need to add some. I swapped up my ball valves for a minute, so I opened this one up and closed that one and just pumped some of that water out because I really wanted to see what was down in there. And the water coming back in looks pretty clean, so that's the water that's coming out from in there. I'm gonna unplug it for a few minutes. I'm right at an hour, and I'm wondering if maybe I used too much soap. May could have gotten by with, you know, half of what I did, maybe split one bottle per house rather than one bottle per side. So even with the fans running, not only does it feel good right here, but it actually smells good too. Might should run some of that when the chickens are in there, give them a little bit of a fresh scent. So it doesn't look like it's done a lot to clean the inside. I guess if I want those clean, I'm just gonna have to go through sometime and spray them from the inside, like with the washer or something, very lightly. That'll be a job for another day. Be interested to go back and look though once they're completely cleaned out and dried to see if they look cleaner. So still got turned off. I'm gonna let the water fill up. I might just let some of that soap sit for a little bit, come back, turn it on, see if I can flush the rest of the soap out. But I think it's probably clean what it's gonna clean. We'll take a look at it here shortly. Back down at the farm. So when I left, the pump had run about an hour, and I just unplugged it and was letting everything sit. A lot of the soap looks like it's gone. Pads are drying out. Went to plug my pump back up and it won't come on. So, not sure what's going on there. I don't know if I ran it too long. I don't know if it was on its way out. I did pull it out and took a look at it, and it felt warm, so I'm gonna let it sit for a little while, go back and check it, but hopefully I didn't ruin a pump. Check my breakers, switches, everything's good. My other side will come on. I have not checked the power to the plug, but fairly certain it should still have power on it. So I'm gonna give it a little bit, go back and check it. I don't know, I may try one more side on a different house here shortly. Maybe cut back on the soap, maybe do half, and see what happens. Hopefully my pump will come back on though. It's typically when they're cooling the chickens, they run on a cycle, and so they don't usually run for 45 minutes straight or an hour straight, so that may be my fault. All right, there's a moment of truth. So everything sat yesterday, ended up heading over to one of our hay fields. We were trying to get some hay dried out. The weather forecast didn't look good. We ended up baling it yesterday evening and just going ahead and wrapping it up. We didn't want it to get rained on, because if it gets rained on today, there's a lot of rain coming in and it just pretty much the hay would be ruined. So I'm gonna see what the status is of my pump. I've only done this on one cool cell. I was gonna do the rest of them today, but I got a little gun shy after my pump quit working, but I got everything turned back on. So this is what we're working with. You can see that water is a little dirty, but cross your fingers that the pump comes on. Nothing. Got my breaker on, got it turned on the controllers. Let's do a little bit more investigating. Got my pump pulled out to look at it. I don't see a reset button on it anywhere. The I think it's called impeller on the bottom will spin, so try it now. It's humming. That's it. Right when I got down to the building, bottom fell out. This is the rain we were trying to avoid. So glad we baled that hay yesterday. We didn't do any videos of it, but got down there and realized I left my toolbox open. Y'all stay tuned. All right, so we're back. We're still working on the pump. It's been a crazy week on the farm. We've had lots of all-star baseball games and rain, and so it's been one of those days where I haven't had much time to devote to this project, so I'm having to come back and update each day. I did spend a little bit of time yesterday, and I took the pump apart just to see if there was maybe some type of screen or filter or something in there. Didn't see anything. Like I said, that impeller, it spins freely. The bearings seem okay. I know I've got power here, but I'm gonna try it one more time and see if maybe it'll work. So I can hear it humming. Nope. There it goes. All right, well, it's still working. Let me see if I unplug it. You unplug it and then plug it back up and it quits again. So I played around with the pump a little bit more. I don't know if it got some trash in it. I don't know if a bearing may be going out on it, or if there's some type of capacitor. Plug it up, it hums. Spin the impeller, it'll start running fine. Unplug it, plug it back up, back to humming. So I'll take it apart some more and look at it a little bit closer and see. You may end up having to replace that pump. Based on that, I don't know that anything I did with the cleaning process caused it. Maybe it was just getting close to the end of the life of that pump. I'm gonna try one more. I'm gonna cut back my dosage to about half of what I did on the first one, just because I felt like there was a lot of soap and it took a little while to get it out. But I'm gonna try one more and we'll see what the pump does. At the end, if another pump quits working, I'm done. But with it being such a warm flock coming up, I'm only gonna do one more pump and make sure it's all right before I go through and do a bunch of them. I've seen lots of reports though where people have done this multiple times, everything runs great. People say they run their pump for a couple of hours, so maybe it's just a coincidence. Right now, I don't recommend it though. If I got another top off, I'll show y'all. Water's pretty clean, but I do see some mosquito larvae in there. I hadn't really thought about it, but I guess this is a good spot for mosquito larvae to thrive. Wonder if the soap will get rid of them. So like I said earlier, almost 16 ounces. So if I cut this in half, it'll be about a cup. One thing to keep in mind if you're opening these tops is, I've opened them before and there'll be wasps everywhere. They'll build a nest in that lid right here somewhere. When you start wiggling and opening it up, those things go flying everywhere. So if you're trying this out, keep that in mind. So I'm gonna start out without turning my cool cell water on. I'm filled up to the normal level. Soap's in there. Let's plug it up. It's currently 12:15. I'm gonna do a timer again. I may not let this one run a full hour like I did the other one. Or I may let it run for a little bit, turn it off, let it run some more. I don't know, we'll see. I know with well pumps, they're not really designed to run continuously. These sump pumps, I think, are a little different, but we'll see. So I'm only about 10 minutes in. You can see some of the soap suds are kind of dirty looking, so I think it's definitely cleaning. The water's getting a little bit low in there, so I'm gonna unplug it. I haven't turned my water on to the cool cell, so I'm gonna go back and turn it on. That way I can run some in that tank when I get ready. So I've cycled it off and on for probably 30 minutes. I've let it fill up with some fresh water now. Now that I've gotten some of the suds out of the way. The water's pretty nasty looking. I've changed the direction of my water, so I've turned it off going up here. I've got my water off that's going into this tank, and I think what I'm gonna do is just pump that nasty water straight out and then try to get some fresh water back in there. So it's a little different than my first process, but you know, live and learn. So there's a few little spots that didn't get anything on it, and I may not have run it long enough on this side. I'm gonna go check the pads on the first house I did. They're all dry. So they actually look pretty clean. There's going to be some stuff still on the inside of those pads, but I think it's cleaning them. Whether or not it ruins your pumps, still don't know. We're all dried out. It's time to wrap this project up. So to finish it up, I'm gonna pump that water out. Once all that water's out, I'm gonna refill it with fresh water, and I'm gonna finish getting ready for chickens because they're coming back in a couple days. Thank y'all for watching our video. I don't know that I recommend this. I'm gonna have to do some more experimenting with it, but I've seen it posted several times on the Facebook group I'm in, and lots of people have good things to say about it, so I'll leave it at that. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one.